Okay, again, Pei Zayin Amid Beis. You have it? In the Shusterman Gemara, this is 87b3. That's right. Okay, in the Mishnah it said a number of dinim that the Mishnah is analyzing, and a bunch of the dinim we learned last week. Okay, the Mishnah said basically certain times a woman wants to collect, she can only collect by swearing. Remember? So he said if a woman is, the Mishnah started with different things. She blemishes the Ketubah. That means she says a part of it was paid. Now she comes and wants to collect money, she can only take it with a shvuah. One witness says it was paid, she said it wasn't paid, she wants to collect, she has to collect with a shvuah. She wants to collect from the orphans or from sold fields, she can only collect from a shvuah. Okay? So the Gemara is analyzing those things. Until now the Gemara is saying, and now the Gemara is continuing with the same concept. The Gemara thought it was a biblical oath. It was a biblical oath because says she admits half, or one witness says the opposite of you have to swear. Anyway, that's what Rabbi Bar said. Rabbi said, no, it can't be a biblical oath. First of all, biblical oaths swear and get out of payment. They don't swear and take. Here the woman's swearing and taking money. So they can't be a biblical oath. And second, he said also before, when he says shtei tshuvas b'davar, okay, basically he says you don't swear on land, right, you don't swear on land, and then most people swear and take. Here most people swear and get out of payment. Here she's swearing and taking. Okay, now the Gemara is saying another case of the Mishnah. Okay? We are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines in the bottom of the page. Okay? One witness testified. Okay, what's the story? The wife comes to collect the Ketubah. The husband says it was paid already. Then the husband brings one witness, and she said, no, it wasn't, okay? And then when the husband brings one witness that says it was paid. So the Mishnah says she swears, and then she can collect the Ketubah, okay? So Rami Bar Chama, so again, Rami Bar Chama, the same thing as before. He thought this is a shvuah d'oraisa. It's a biblical oath. Why? Because he's swearing with an eid echad, right? One of the 3 biblical oaths we said, if a witness testifies against to one witness, you have to swear against the witness. So it says, the pasuk says that a single witness cannot stand up against a man for any punishment or any penalty. So the Gemara learns out from there, he cannot give you punishment or penalty. A single witness cannot make you pay, cannot get you malchus or death or anything else. But he makes you swear. Right? That was the Gemara learned out, that one witness makes you swear. So the Gemara says, and the Gemara says in a different place, any case where 2 witnesses would obligate the guy with money, one witness makes him swear. Okay? So Rami Bar Chama thought, okay, the 8 says it's paid, she says it's not paid, so he said it's a biblical oath. You have to swear against the witness, right? The witness says it was paid, she says it's not paid, so she has to swear against the witness. Rabbi said again the same thing. There's 2 answers to your statement, that meaning it's wrong. One is calling nishbayin shebetayda and nishbayin v'lei meshalmin. All the people that swear in Torah, they swear and they don't pay. Here she's swearing and taking. That doesn't exist by any biblical oath in Chumash. So it can be the biblical oath of Eid Echad, because the swearing, the oath against the Eid Echad gets you out of paying. Here the woman's swearing and taking. And second thing, you never swear when there's a denial of lien of land, and therefore this is also land, Ketubah, the nechasim that she sold, or whatever it may be. So therefore, Elam and Rava said, the oath that the Mishnah is talking about, Midrabanan, is only rabbinic. It's not a biblical oath. Why? Lahav is daita shabal, to make the Baal feel a little bit easier. Meaning, the husband brought a witness that said it was paid. Now you're just ignoring him. So the Chum said, we're not ignoring you. The woman, if she wants to collect, has to swear. But this is not a biblical oath, because in this case the woman swears that she didn't get paid and she's going to collect the Ketubah.
I thought it was a biblical oath.
Huh?
I thought it was a biblical oath.
Yeah, but that's only when you swear against the witness to get out of payment.
Oh, she wants to.
She wants to.
To receive it.
She wants to collect the Ketubah. So it can't be a biblical oath, Rabbi says. And anytime land is involved, because a Ketubah has a lien on land, so you don't swear when it comes to land. So there's a cause also, you don't do Gemara learns out from Sukkim that you don't swear when it comes to land.
So how will she collect?
Oh, rabbinically.
Oh, it's a rabbinical collect.
You know, you have to understand. She's coming with a document, the Ketubah.
Right.
Yeah? Now, normally I come to you with a paper, you owe me $1,000. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you say, no, I don't. I mean, who's right? I'm right, I have the paper. Right? So the husband says I paid it. So why does the woman have the paper? So really, the woman should be able to collect it. Okay, the husband says it's paid, prove it. I mean, you know. The problem over here is the husband has a witness that says it was paid.
So what's stronger, the witness or the paper?
Well, the paper the witness only makes you swear.
Only one witness.
But the document makes you collect. So the collection is stronger than the...
Make a difference. She has a ketubah.
I know. So the Gemara says, why does she have to swear? Why does she have to swear? To make the husband feel a little bit good, you know. He brought a guy that says it was paid. You just don't want to ignore him completely. So, yeah, okay, swear and you'll get the money. Now, so the Gemara says, the testimony of the single witness is not going to make her not get the money. She's going to collect the money anyway. So now that Papa gives an advice to the husband how to get out of paying the Ketubah with one witness. He gives him advice. Which is what a lot of times does for these things. Amir Papa says like this. If the husband is smart, he'll do like this. He could bring her to swear biblically. This oath against the witness, the Gemara says now is rabbinic. If he's smart, he could do something that will make her swear biblically. How? He says like this. Let him pay the Ketubah now in front of this witness that came. Okay? Let him pay the Ketubah. Then he says like this. Let him bring the first witness with the latter witness. So, in other words, like this. Okay, so okay, he says like this. There's one witness over here that says the Ketubah was paid, right? The Papa says like this. Guy's smart, let him do like this. Let him get another witness. Another one witness. Let him pay the Ketubah now to the woman. Let him pay the Ketubah.
So he pays it off completely.
Yeah, let him pay it off, whatever it is, $200, $1,000, whatever. Let him pay it completely. Then, the husband will bring both witnesses together to court. The first witness that says it was paid, and the second witness that says he gave it the Ketubah. Now, what's going to be? The husband's going to say, one was the payment of the Ketubah, but one was on the payment, was a loan that I gave the wife. I gave her a loan. Okay? And the witness says that she gave her a loan. He sees the way he's giving her money for the Ketubah. Right? Plus the other witness that says it was paid off. That means he saw the payment.
So that blemishes the Ketubah.
So he says, no, let the first witnesses who the first witness who testifies, I saw the husband pay the Ketubah, the husband will say, that's a loan. Now I paid you for the Ketubah. He'll bring both witnesses to court. Now there's one witness testifying that he gave her money and she has to pay it back.
Isn't that?
It's a little dray.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. It's a ketubah belongs to.
No, he's saying now it's a Ketubah that I paid him in front of the witness and paying it.
Yeah.
So one witness he
But
paid
the first
Ketubah.
witness, the first guy who said he already paid the Ketubah earlier, that is going to be called a loan.
But she's gonna have to pay it back to him?
Yeah, or she'll have to swear. She has to swear that I don't owe you the money. But now there's like two witnesses. He says, bring the second witness to the first one, okay? That if she denies having received payment, there'll be two witnesses against her. Because now he establishes the first payment as a loan. Because now there's two witnesses that say she owes him money. Now the first payment was a loan. But now there's one witness testifying so that she has to pay the money.
The second one doesn't.
Yeah,
say
so
that
the
it was
Gemara
money.
says...
The second one just says that you can pay the Ketubah. They gave the Ketubah.
Yeah, but he's going to say they gave the Ketubah now, and therefore the first payment was really a loan. What did the first witness say? We saw him give her $1,000. So now he's going to say, okay, the Ketubah I'm paying you now. So what was that first money? That was a loan. And she says, I don't owe you the money. Then she would have to swear biblical oath to get out of payment. Now, what's the issue over here? So Rashi explains, a biblical oath is much more spooky than a rabbinic oath. Okay? The way Rashi learns, Taisus argues in it. Okay? A person taking a biblical oath has to swear in the name of Hashem. He holds on to a Torah, a Sefer Torah. A rabbinic oath just accepts a curse upon himself if he lies. So, huh? So a woman, the guy says, you want to get the woman to swear? Because the husband knows the woman's not going to swear. She would rather pay. So the husband has a way of getting both witnesses together. One's testifying he paid the Ketubah, then the other one's testifying he gave her a loan. And she says, I don't owe you that money. So then she would have to swear. So Amar Maskal Rav Shisha B'Rei Dravidi. So Rav Shisha B'Rei Dravidi asks the question, 1 minute. How can you define, how do you bring the both witnesses together? Let me tell you something. If I lend you money today and I bring one witness, yeah, and I lend you tomorrow and I bring you another witness, they can't combine the two witnesses to make two, because two witnesses mean they saw the same thing happening.
So they have to be brought at the same time?
Yeah, and they have to testify on the same thing that happened, right? For instance, two witnesses. One says, I don't know if this is halacha, but let's take it as an example. One witness says Reuven killed Shimon, and the second witness says Reuven killed Levi.
But one is monetary, the other one is not.
No, I'm saying, but let's say even biblical, yeah? Capital punishment. You don't have two witnesses testifying on the same thing. If you testify that I lent him money on Monday, and he testifies I lent him money on Tuesday, they're not contradicting each other. They're saying it was one loan on Monday, one loan on Tuesday. So how do you have two witnesses? What did the Rav Papa say to do? Bring both witnesses together. One is on the earlier thing, which happened to be a loan, and now the second thing he's paying the Ketubah. How you can't connect two witnesses? He says, "Heich samach sadek kama." How can you combine the first witness, Asad Basra, and the other witness when they're testifying about two separate things? You don't have two witnesses at all. Elam Rav Shisha B'Ravidi, Rav Shisha B'Ravidi says like this. What does he do? Yoev l'Ksuba b'api sadek kama. The first witness, okay, he gives the Ketubah, he pays the Ketubah, according to the Papa, he pays the Ketubah in front of the second witness. He said, no, that's not going to work. So you pay the Ketubah in front of the first witness. Okay, the first witness. Sada Basra, and he pays her a second time in front of the second witness. Umukim, then he says the first one is a loan. So in other words, he says like this, he pays the second witness, in front of the first witness he pays the second Ketubah. So now the first witness is testifying that the first one then was not a payment for the Ketubah because you're paying it now. So therefore, it must be a loan. So therefore, it would be a biblical oath. So again, Rav Ashi says, no. Why is it a loan? She could say there are two Ketubahs. He's not paying me the first one as a loan, second one as a Ketubah. He's paying me double Ketubah. Why? I don't know, but he pays her double Ketubah. So therefore, Rav Ashi says, who made the law, he says like this. He tells the witnesses before he's paying the second payment, this is what what he's planning to do. Okay? So therefore, the Gemara says if he's smart, he can get the woman to swear because he gets another witness involved and the first witness is testifying on a loan, and therefore she would have to swear biblical oath. Okay, this is Gemara. Okay, now it goes back to normal. Okay, so now the Gemara said, in the Mishnah it says, Menachosim Meshubadim. A woman wants to collect the Ketubah from fields that were already sold. Okay, remember, you have a date in the Ketubah? Very important. Without a date, it's a puzzle. Okay? Any document without a date is not kosher. Ketubah, get, loan document, it has to have a date. Why? If I lend you money today, what's today? November 5th, yeah? Okay, or the Hebrew is Zayin Cheshvan. I lend you money, Zayin Cheshvan. The second I lend you money, all your property that you own is collateral. Like in civil law, right? It's all collateral. Now, on the 10th of Cheshvan, in 3 days from now, I sold you property. Now, if the loan took place on the 5th, on the 7th, and I sold property on the 10th, that property is collateral for the loan, right? But if you don't have a date on the document, so how do you know when the loan was and when he sold the property? Maybe he sold the property before the loan. Maybe if the loan was the 7th of Cheshvan, maybe he sold it out of Cheshvan, right? So then, if that's the case, then he's not. There's no lien on the property. Lien on the property in halacha and civil also is only after the loan took place. Therefore, you must have a document, right, with the correct date. Now, while we're off topic a little bit, what's interesting, what happens if you have a predated document? In other words, the loan took place today, Zayin Cheshvan. But the date says Aleph Cheshvan in the document. That's possible. The whole document is not kosher, it's worthless. Why? Because what's going to happen is the buyers are going to lose out. If the buyers brought the property on the 3rd of Cheshvan, the loan took place the 7th of Cheshvan, right? They bought the property on the 3rd of Cheshvan. That was really before the loan. But what does the document say? Aleph Cheshvan. That means in Bezdin, that property is collateral. But it's really not collateral because it was happened before the loan. Therefore, the Gemara says predated documents are possible. Post-dated, Shtar Mu'uchar, is kosher. Because then, the buyers are not going to be losing anything. Because the loan was first, and then later it says the date of the loan. So it doesn't matter. Okay, so now the Mishnah says like this. If she wants to collect from the collateral properties which were sold, or she wants to collect from the orphans, she has to swear. Yeah? Okay. Now the Gemara says, Tanan also, we learned in the Mishnah. In Shavuos, it says like this, V'cheina yisaimim lo yiparu ala b'Shavuot. Just like they said in our Mishnah, that a woman who comes to collect from orphans' property has to swear. The same thing, orphans can collect a debt owed to their father only with a vow. Oh, well, no, an oath. If they want to go collect from buyers, or they want to collect from the guy's orphans, you need to swear. Okay? Just like the woman, in order to collect the Ketubah, has to swear, the same thing, orphans that want to collect the debt that their father was owed, they have to swear that they never got it. Okay? So now the Gemara asks, Miman, who are they collecting from that this din is applying? Ilema miloiva, if you're telling you want to come from the borrower itself, right? That means like this. The borrower, their father, Reuven, lent Shimon money. So Shimon owes Reuven money, $1,000. Yeah? Reuven dies. The kids come with the document to collect the debt that Shimon owes their father. Yeah? So what are you saying? What does the Mishnah say? In order for them to collect the debt, they need to swear. So where it says, 1 minute, why? If their father came with a document, if their father was alive, and he comes to Shimon, would he have to swear? No, he has a document. Right? So why do they have to swear? They have a document. Why are they worse than the father? The father has a document, he can collect the debt. So if the kids have the document, the guy has no proof that he paid it. Right? He's not believed to say he paid it because they have the document. If they paid it, he should have taken away the document or written a receipt or whatever. Right? So the Gemara says, why if the father takes without an oath, inu b'shvur, they have to collect with a shvur. Also, why? Why should they be worse than the father? So it means it's like this. Orphans from orphans can only collect with a shvur. That means like this. Reuven lent Shimon $1,000. Yeah? Reuven died, and the way the Gemara learns now, Shimon died. They both died. Now Reuven kids want to collect the debt from Shimon's kids, from the estate. Because the estate owes their father the money. So this is what the Mishnah says. If Reuven's orphans want to collect from Shimon's orphans, they can only collect by swearing that they never got the money. But if the orphans are collecting from Shimon himself, then they don't have to swear, because if the father didn't swear, why would they have to swear?
Because why?
They have the document.
Because the father wouldn't have to swear, so they don't have to swear.
Now, Amar Rav Zrika, Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Zrika says the name of Rabbi Yehuda. Lei Shanu, when does this din learn? That the lender's kids, Reuven's kids, have to swear. That's only when they say like this. What do the kids say? What do Shimon's or Reuven's kids say? Or Shimon's kids say? Right? The borrower's orphans, Shimon's kids. Right? So what are Reuven's kids are coming, so he owes the money. Right? Now what are they answering?
We don't know if our father paid you.
Oh, so he says like this. If they said, Amr Lano Abba, that our father told us, Lavisi uparaiti, I borrowed and I paid. So then, even though the Reuven's kids have the document, Shimon's kids should have had the document, but they don't. So what are Shimon's kids? Reuven's kids, but remember, Reuven and Shimon died. Both died, now the kids are here. So Reuven's kids, the lender, wants to collect from Shimon's kids, the borrower. So the Gemara says like this. The kids have to swear in order to collect from the kids. But that's only when Shimon's kids say, our father told us, yes, I borrowed the money, but I repaid it. Then the kids have to swear in order to collect the money. Reuven's kids. Aval amru lanu abba Loy lavisi, I never borrowed the money. He says, Af b'shvur lo yiparu. This is what the Rabbi Amar Rav Yehuda says. Even with a vow, even with an oath, they're not going to be able to collect. Gemara is going to refute this in a second. But bottom line is, if the father says, Shimon's kids, the borrower, says, our father said, never borrowed that money. I don't know what he's talking about. So then the din is they can't even collect, even if they swear. That's what Rabbi Zilika says. Huh?
Because there's no document.
There is a document. But the father says it's false. The kids say, Shimon's kids, right? The borrower's kids say that our father said, I never borrowed the money, and therefore the document is false. So Rav Zrika, Rav Yehuda says, then they can't even collect even if they swear.
Even if they validate the witness.
1 minute. Maskula Rava said, what in the world are you talking about? Adrab, on the contrary. Okay, the din is like this. It's the whole Gemara. If a guy says, I didn't borrow the money. Normal case, forget this case. Yeah? I come over to you, I say, you know what? You owe me $1,000. He says, what are you talking about? I never borrowed the money from you. Got it? So Gemara says the rule is, by saying I never borrowed the money, you're admitting that you never paid it. You're saying I never borrowed it. But automatically you're basically saying in essence, I didn't pay it. So now, what happens if they bring witnesses? Think about it. The guy borrowed the money, but we don't know if he paid. And the guy comes along and says, no, I paid it. He's not believed. Because he himself, by saying I never borrowed the money, admitted that he never paid it.
Why not make him swear though?
To do what? Why should he swear?
That he never took that he never borrowed the money.
Yeah, but once he admits I didn't borrow.
Okay, prove it.
No, he says I didn't borrow it. That means your verbal confession is saying I never paid it. I never borrowed it either.
And they say there was a loan.
But I never paid it, right? Yeah. So now if they can prove that he did borrow the money, can he come along and say I paid it?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, because he already admitted I didn't pay it. So then he would have to pay the whole thing.
Without a sure.
Right. So he says, so therefore like this, the debtor, Shimon, okay, by saying what did we say? I never borrowed the money. So then the Gemara just said the kids can't collect even if they swear. So Rabbi said, what are you, crazy? By him saying I didn't borrow, yeah, automatically admits that he didn't pay. And they have the document now that shows that he does owe the money. So he can't come along and say, now I paid, because he's not believed to say I paid, because you admit that you didn't pay. You admit, I never borrowed the money, but you're admitting that you didn't pay it. So if anything, they should be able to collect it with everything. So the Gemara said, no, okay, we're changing Rav Zrika's word over here. This is the way to learn it. Amar Rav Zrika, Amar Rav Yehuda. When is the din that the lender's orphans collect on the basis of his shvuah? That our father told us, Lavisi uparaiti, I borrowed the money and I paid it. Yeah? Then they have to collect only by swearing. But if my father said I didn't never borrow the money, they collect without a shvuah. The word's changing it now. If the father said, I borrowed the money and I paid the money, but he doesn't have proof that he paid, so now the kids want to collect from his kids, they can swear and collect the money. But if, Rabbi Zrika and Rabbi Yehuda says, and then the Gemara is fixing it, that if they say, if the kids say, my father said he never borrowed the money. He never borrowed the money. then the din is they can collect them without even swearing. Why can they collect without swearing? Because the father admitted he never paid it. Where did he admit that he never paid it? By saying I never borrowed it. If you never borrowed it, you never bought it, you paid it. So then the kids would be able to collect without a shvur. First, the Gemara thought, in that case, they cannot even collect even with the shvur. So the Gemara said, are you crazy? If the father says, I never borrowed the money, he made it worse for himself. So therefore, he says like this. If the father says, I borrowed the money and I paid it back, Shimon, right? The guy that borrowed the money, then Reuven's kids are going to have to swear and then they can take it. Yeah? Because they have proof, that the document. If the father says, Shimon's kids, because he died already, Shimon's kids say, our father told us he never borrowed that money, then is the kids, Reuven's kids can collect the debt even without them having to swear.
I have a question.
What?
If the father never borrowed the money, why would he say to his kids, I never borrowed the money? How would it ever come up?
No, the kids heard rumors that the guy says you owe me, your father owes me money, whatever.
Oh,
Kids can swear?
Huh?
Kids, you told me kids can swear? According to what adult or Gedolim.
You say me if they're under bar mitzvah, no, then the apotropos can swear. The guy guarantor for them. If they're over bar mitzvah, they can swear. Huh?
Conservatory.
Yeah. Apotropos is a conservator. If he's the guy in charge of them, then he swears. If he knows, if he's able to swear. B'chlal, the concept when you hear orphans, in monetary issues, the Rambam says, from the Gemara obviously, you can be a 90-year-old orphan too. I mean, what does an orphan mean? So the Rambam says, the definition of an orphan is until they reach the age that they can handle things on their own. As long as they can't handle things on their own, they're called Yosef. And therefore you have to swear from them and then bezel. I mean, a guy's going to say, okay, your father owed my father money. The guy's 90 years old. He says, I'm an orphan. I mean, you have to swear to collect. I mean, that's ridiculous, obviously. Yosef isn't, I mean, you can approximate it for 18, 20, I mean, whatever. When the kids are able to stand on their own, they're not Yosef anymore.
Even if they lost both parents.
What?
If they lost both their parents.
It could be even one parent could be called the Yosef for this. If the father died, and the mother in those days wasn't involved in the financial bank accounts.
This is only for halacha, or like there is a concept in the Yatomim, they cry, Hashem would hear. It's only about the kids, also adults too. Not halacha.
You heard an orphan.
I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you think it means a 90-year-old person, 70-year-old person who doesn't have parents is going to be called a Yosef, that when he cries out to Hashem, Hashem listens, and therefore you're not allowed to you have to be very sensitive with him? It also means, halacha says, it means kids that are not developed yet on their own, they're not mature enough, they're not capable enough to handle things on their own.
Under bar mitzvah or,
No, it could be 18, 19, in financial things. The Gemara says 20. Many dinim, an adult in financial things, the Gemara says is 20. Okay, then it says like this. Another ruling of the Mishnah. Nifrash shalei b'fanav. If she comes to collect the Ketubah not in the husband's presence. That means the husband went overseas. And she's coming to collect the Ketubah. The din is like sipar ala bishvur. She can only she can only collect the Ketubah if she swears that she didn't get it yet. What are we afraid of? Maybe the husband went overseas. We're talking about the guy divorced, obviously not dead. Right? Because the guy went overseas. The guy divorced his wife. He left town. Now she's coming to collect the Ketubah. Chacham, you know what I mean? She sees the husband's not here. What do they know? I'll go. So then she has to swear to collect the Ketubah. Again, what does she swear rabbinical? That she never got it.
So she can collect it even though he's not there.
But she has to swear.
Okay.
Obviously, if she has the document,
But who's she collecting from?
from the estate.
The estate still belongs
Bezdin
to the
will collect
father
it.
because
Bezdin.
the father's still alive.
I understand Bezdin will collect it.
So-
If he has a manager of the estate, or the estate itself, the woman can come to
But it
Bezdin
wouldn't be from
and
the
say, listen, guys, let me ask you a question. A guy owes somebody money, and the guy's out of town. Okay, the time of the payment of the debt comes up, yeah? There was a 30-day loan, yeah? Okay, so now the guy has to pay him back. The guy's out of town. He's going to be out of town for 6 months. I mean, those days, they went out of town. You didn't even know if they were coming back. So the guy wants to collect the debt. What does he go to do? What does he do? He goes to Bezdin. Bezdin sends out an appraiser, the whole procedure. Bezdin sends an appraiser, and Bezdin checks, make sure that you owe him the money and all that. So, in this case, if she wants to collect the Ketubah, she's going to have to swear.
So in this case, how long has this guy been missing in action?
We don't know. He's just not around. Now,
So the court then takes the ketubah away from the woman when she gets the money.
when she gets the money, they'll either write a receipt to the state that he paid, or they'll take away the Ketubah.
But she's not divorced, how could she do that?
She is
No, she isn't. He divorced her.
Oh, he divorced and went away?
Otherwise, she can't collect the Ketubah.
Oh, he divorced and went away?
Yeah.
Oh.
He went on a honeymoon himself. Or with his new wife.
There was shliach.
He went with his new wife.
Why?
You can send a shliach to deliver the good.
Yeah, but whatever it is. I mean, bottom line is, he divorced the wife. She wants to collect the Ketubah. So the Mishnah says she has to pay for it. Okay? So Gemara says like this. Amir Ravacha Sarabira. Ravacha, who was the lord of the Bira, it was his nickname. Okay, it's either capital city, whatever it was. He said like this. Ma'aseh ba lifnei Rabbi Yitzchak ban Tochya. A story like this came in front of Rabbi Yitzchak in Antiochia that the woman wanted to collect the Ketubah and the husband wasn't in town. And he said, Leishanu alul Ketubas isha. This then that the Mishnah says you can only pay from the estate of a guy who's out of town, but she has to swear, but she can get payment. That's only for the Ketubas isha. Why? Because of China, because, in other words, it's favor to the man, and the man will find favor in the eyes of the woman, whatever. But Bal Chayv, like, but a debt, you can't collect even if you swear from an estate. This is what the Gemara, we'll see a second opinion disagrees. This opinion, what's his name? Rabbi Yitzchak in Antiochia, which was a city where he was, he said, this that the Mishnah says, you want to collect money from an estate that the owner is out of town, only applies to a Ketubah. If it's a regular debt, you cannot collect the money even if they swear. Okay? Even a debtor, you can go collect the money. Why? You know what's going to be? Everybody's going to take friend's money. He'll go overseas, and he'll never be able to collect it. He'll never have to pay the debt. Typical Jew. He's going to borrow money, $1,000. He'll go overseas, and you tell me that they can't even collect even if they swear. He said, what are you, crazy? Nobody's going to lend money anymore. It's like he says the expression, you're slamming the door shut in the eyes, in the face of the borrower. Nobody's going to want to lend money anymore. Why would the guy lend money if the guy's going to borrow $1,000 and go overseas and now that's it? I'll never be able to collect the money. So then he holds, this is Rav Nachman says, even by loans and other debts, if the guy's out of town and the time of the debt payment came and you have good proof that he owes you the money, then you can collect it.
Rabbi, is a ketubah considered a kanas?
No, why is it? It's a debt.
Is it not?
The Ketubah purpose, women don't even realize this. The Ketubah is 100% for the benefit of the woman. Why did the Chachamim institute Ketubah? Because otherwise the guy would just divorce his wife. If he has no financial obligation, why won't he go divorce his wife? He doesn't like it, goodbye. Take another one, or whatever. So the Chachamim said, for the safe haven of the woman, so to speak, and the safety of the woman financially, the Chachamim said, you want to get married? You have to write a Ketubah. That if you divorce her or die, she has some financial security. And the commentators say that the Ketubah of yesteryear, was like a year's enough to live on.
I'm sorry for the basic question I've asked a million times, but why fundamentally, I don't remember anymore, why are women not allowed to give a gift? Why only the men?
Because in Kedushin, don't tell this to the women. No.
It's just being recorded.
I know, but the women, trust me, women don't watch the Gemara.
How do you know that?
Trust me.
The husband is shows
In the pasuk where it speaks about marriage, the Torah says, "Ki yikach ish isha," the man will take a woman. Okay, so therefore, the whole concept of marriage is the husband taking the wife, acquires her. Okay, he acquires her. Therefore, it's like, can a slave free himself? And I'm not calling him slave, but just as an analogy. Can a slave free himself from the master? No. The master bought him. If the master wants, he can free him. But the slave can't come along and say, I'm free.
If the slave has the money, he can buy himself out.
If it's a Eved Ivri, not Eved Kanani. Yeah, you're right. The Eved Ivri, a Jewish slave, can redeem himself, but not a Goyish slave. But the bottom line of it is, the man takes the woman. That's why the man says, you are consecrated to me with this ring, according to laws of Moshe in Israel. Therefore, in today's world, because of everybody got to be equal, but some are more equal than others, they do today what's called a double ring ceremony. Right? That after the husband gives the ring to the woman gives the ring to the man. And also says something like, Hare ata mukudish to me, right? Now, that casts a halachic question on the whole chuppah, and the whole kedushin. Why? Because according to halacha, the man's taking the woman. She thinks she's taking the man. That's not what's going on. By kedushin, she has to understand she's being taken by the husband. If she thinks she's taking the husband, that cancels out the fact that she's being taken by the husband. Right? Therefore, a double ring ceremony, if they do it right away next to each other, is a whole shaila in the kedushin. It could be a shaila in the whole.
Does that happen in Orthodox weddings?
Huh?
Does it happen in Orthodox
It
weddings?
depends. In the garage, maybe they do it.
What about Chabad?
No, Chabad doesn't do that.
Whatever happened with that case in Israel where this guy refused to give a gift to his wife, and then they didn't want to hire his mother, and then he said he would do it, and then they married her, and then
And he still didn't give the gift.
still didn't. He still didn't do it. Wow.
Okay, anyway.
That's a real gruesome.
Regular Israeli. Okay, then in the Mishnah it says, Reb Shimon Eimer, in the Mishnah all the way back, here. At the end of the Mishnah, Reb Shimon said like this: Kol zman shitavis Ketubah, as long as the wife is demanding the Ketubah, the orphans can make her swear. But if she's not demanding the Ketubah, and the Gemara is going to explain exactly what this means, they cannot make her swear. Okay, that's what Reb Shimon said in the Mishnah. We don't know what he's talking about. And that's what the Gemara is going to ask now. What in the world is he talking about? What's his case? But all Reb Shimon says is like this. The Mishnah said a statement before. If the wife wants to collect from the orphans, the Ketubah, she has to swear. Comes along Reb Shimon and says, no, that's only when she's demanding the Ketubah. If she's not demanding the Ketubah, they cannot make her swear. So the Gemara says, what case is he going? Rabbi Yirmiyah says it goes on this case. It said, it's not the case of the or what is it? Whatever. The Mishnah says, earlier than, that if the husband's out of town and she wants to collect, she needs to swear. There's no difference whether she wants to liquidate the husband's assets for provision of her support or for payment of the ksuba. Meaning, when she demands it, they can make her swear. No, and then Reb Shimon comes and says like this: Kozman, she tevas ksuba. So when she's claiming a ksuba, the orphans make her swear. Eino tevas ksuba, and if she doesn't, the Gemara is going to explain exactly what this means. And if she doesn't demand the ksuba, and Yoshim Ashmi and Eisa, the kids cannot make her swear. Okay? Okay, now what does this mean over here? It means like this. A woman who comes to collect the ksuba, she has to swear. Okay? Now, this could be in one or two cases. She says to the court, okay. I have to say another din here. Part of the obligations of a husband to a wife is the ksuba, right? But you have to heal her if she's sick. You have to redeem her if she gets captured. There's a lot of obligations. Now, when the husband dies, the din is, until the woman collects her ksuba, she is supported from the estate of the husband. That's the din. Whenever she wants to collect the ksuba, that breaks it, and therefore she gets the ksuba, and that's it. She doesn't have to support it.
She wants to get the ksuba, you can like give it to her.
No, if she doesn't want, she can say, I don't want it yet. Right. Now, the husband went out of town, right? That's the case. The woman comes to Bezdin and says, listen, Bezdin, the guy didn't leave over any money for my food. I want you to sell his property, sell a property of his, to get me money for my food. Not ksuba now. Either ksuba or to get fed. Okay? So now the din is like this. The woman says, he never left over money for me. He didn't. Because maybe the husband gave her, put her in the bank $1 million to feed her. Okay? So she has to come along and say that my husband never left money for food. So therefore I'm asking Bezdin to go and take the money. Okay? Or if she wants to, like you said before, but this is the case, Rashi says, the husband sent a get from overseas, and now she wants to get the ksuba. So she has to swear, okay? So what is the argument between Reb Shimon and the Chachamim? He says like this: "V'kamiflegli beplukte the Chanan." The argument between Chanan and Bnei Kohanim Gedolim, the children of a Kohen Gadol who know how to learn, were arguing in the halacha against Rav Chanan. What was the argument? The Tanan. Mi shahalach Medina Sayam, if a guy went overseas, v'ish tivas mezainis, and the woman saying, I need food, I need money for food. My husband didn't leave me over any money, I need money. So Chanan neimer tishava basayf, v'lei tishava lechatchila. So Chanan says like that's interesting. When she's asking for food, she doesn't have to swear. If she's asking to get paid the ksuba, then she has to swear. That's what Chanan holds. Nachluku alav b'nei kohanim gedolim, and they said tishava b'tchila u'b'saf. You have to swear at the beginning and at the end, meaning food she has to swear, and the ksuba she has to swear. So the Gemara said this is the argument. Reb Shimon holds like Chanan. Reb Shimon holds like Chanan that she only has to swear for ksuba, not for food. Food she can collect, she can make Bezdin sell the property by saying he didn't leave me any food, and Bezdin will sell the property. And the Chachamim, who hold that whether it's food or anything else, she would have to swear, they hold like the Kohanim Gedolim.
How do the sons of the Kohen Gadol get involved here?
But you talk about money or...
No, food.
Not actual food, money for food.
How do the Kohen Gadol sons get involved?
They're arguing in halacha and learning. There's a lot of cases when you have the sons of Kohen and Gedalim had an opinion in halacha and many places. Yeah.
I'm a little confused about something you said.
Join Chabad. They'll confuse you more.
You said as long as the ex-wife doesn't collect the Ketubah, she gets supported by the husband?
Yeah.
What if he doesn't want to do that? Can he just pay the
No.
Ketubah?
The court forces him to support her.
This is after the husband is dead.
So
Or
she could just choose never.
yeah, by the way, it's not if the guy divorces her, by the way. It doesn't apply if the guy divorces her. It applies if he's dead. Then she can eat from the estate. If he divorces her, goodbye, Charlie.
If he divorces her, she can't get supported by him.
Correct, that's what I'm saying. Then there's this whole issue that she gets support is being after the guy dies.
If he dies before he gets his divorce,
Oh. Yeah.
and she's a widow.
Or she made herself a widow. I mean, whatever the case may be. So in other words, this is what the Gemara says Rab Shimon is saying. Rab Shimon says whether she's asking for food or she's asking for the Ketubah, she has to swear. The first opinion in our Mishnah says no. For food, she doesn't have to swear.
Just sort of what exactly?
That she never got.
Never got.
Yeah.
What?
He never left her money for food. Or the money left her was not enough. I mean, whatever.
This is after, in the case that he died.
He died. And then, but if it's the Ketubah, then she would have to swear.
Well, how can you leave her over anything if he died? She would have to. risk
The estate, the estate.
And who passed out the estate?
Listen, if the guy knew he was dying and he knew he had an obligation to feed his wife, he might have left over to the kids money or put away money for her somewhere by somebody to feed her.
I see.
Also, he said when he went away and for a long time and she didn't have money.
Right. But then they're still married.
He's still married.
That would be the same din. If the guy didn't divorce her, he went away. Yeah? And the wife comes to Bez and says, you know, my husband left me now for 4 months, 6 months. He went overseas, and I don't have money for food. So what does Bezdin do? Bezdin will go and check out the situation. They'll sell property and take the money to feed her.
Even though she's still married.
Yeah, but she still has to be fed.
That's right.
That's
There's a
why
halachic obligation. No, what's unique is that even after the husband dies, he has to feed her. That's unique. That while they're married, he has to feed her. I mean,
that's what I don't understand. Like, food is a necessity. I mean, other things are not so. I mean, food is like your.
1 second. What are you asking? Why after he dies, he has to feed her? Or why would I think not?
Why would I think not?
Because they're not married anymore. Who has to pay for it now? The kids. The kids inherited the estate, right? So why should we pay for it?
No, but I'm saying, well, actually, food is very important. It's sustenance. It keeps it.
How could somebody not feed?
Let me ask you a
his
question.
wife, you're saying?
Forget alimony and all that stuff today. A guy divorces his wife, yeah? Goodbye. He has to worry about her, how she's
after
going
divorce, after
No,
death.
after death. Why should he have, I would think, why would he have to feed her after he dies? Chachamim instituted in the Ketubah, even though it's not written in the Ketubah, but it's as if it's written in the Ketubah, that the husband has to support the wife even after he dies.
So it's not till death do them apart.
Financially not. Financially, do them apart with the kids. They're apart. The kids are not apart. Okay, so now the Gemara is going to ask a question on this. What does it say in the Mishnah that the kids make her swear? Right? The kids make her swear, the Yisayim. So Maskal Rav Sheshes, Hi Yarshim Ashpina. So what do you mean the kids make her swear? Bezdin Mashbi and Asa. Bezdin makes her swear. Okay? Because the bottom line of it is, if she's asking for the Ketubah, she has to swear. If she's asking for food, she doesn't have to swear. Okay? And because in this case, what was the case where whatchamacallit, Rav Chanan and Ben Ikra and them are arguing? Mishahalach l'Medina Sayam. The guy didn't die, they're still married. Right? They went overseas. Right? So the Gemara says, the kids make her swear. He says, 1 minute. The heirs cannot make her swear because only when she asks for the Ketubah is Bezdin going to make her swear. When she asks for food, why should she swear? It's an obligation he has to her. So why would that be?
The food is in the ketubah. He has to feel that's part of the ketubah. Just one aspect of it, right?
Yeah, but it's not only
Food,
shelter, and clothing. You have to feed her and take care of her until she gets the Ketubah or she remarries. In other words, if the husband died and the wife is getting supported by the husband's estate, yeah? Half a year later she gets married. Yeah? And she said, no, you still have to feed me.
To the ex-husband, to the first.
Yeah, to the first estate. Obviously that's ridiculous. You got remarried, your new husband has to take care of you. Why you... Huh? The Ketubah she collects. No matter who she marries, she could be married a multi-billionaire. But the bottom line, the Ketubah is her financial obligation that she gets.